This will make you feel bad. It needs to be. You can't unhear what you're going to hear, so get ready for it. You live in a world that teaches you that being liked is the most important thing. Smile more, be nice, don't make anyone mad, and make sure you're easy to be around. But under that soothing cultural trance sits a brutal, incontrovertible truth. The individuals who are most loved are rarely the people who are most respected. Look about you. People who are loved for being pleasant generally don't get their way when important decisions are made. They are not feared, they are tolerated. They are invited to the celebration, but they are never invited to the table where decisions are made. History corroborates it, psychology substantiates it, and if you are candidly honest with yourself, your own existence validates it. You have seen the good person, the one who gives up, bends, adapts, and makes others happy. You have also seen how the person who wants respect silently steps over them. This is the contradiction that should bother you. The more you want to be liked, the less you are respected. Being liked is delicate. It goes away as soon as you say no, set a limit, or put your own needs ahead of someone else's. But respect, dark, harsh, and unrelenting respect, can last even through hate. You might hate someone or talk about them behind their back, but if they have made you see their strength, your anger will always be mixed with respect for their might. This is the law that governs your life, whether you like it or not. There is this conflict in every room you step into, every conversation, every negotiation, and every relationship. Will you choose to be liked, or will you dare to be respected? Think about what will happen. People grin at you when they like you, but they don't follow you. They like having you around, but they don't listen to what you say. They say you're a great person, yet they don't call you when things are serious. Likeability is a mask you wear to make the harsh parts of your life seem less difficult, but respect is built into how people see you. It is the realization that you cannot be ignored, that you carry a weight that changes the space around you. You were taught to value the wrong currency since you were a child. Be kind, they said, but kindness without power is just being a servant. Be helpful, they said, because helping someone without expecting something in return turns into exploitation. Be humble, they advised, but if you're humble and don't have any pride, you won't be seen. You were taught to be the agreeable one, but no one told you the scary truth, that the agreeable one is always replaceable. Why do people idolize conquerors, leaders, and visionaries, even when they are harsh and ruthless? Why do you suppose Machiavelli told monarchs hundreds of years ago that it is better to be feared than loved if you can't be both? Why do you think that your adoration for some people often comes with jealousy, anger, or even disgust? You know they have something you don't have deep down, the dark power of respect. But here's the question that keeps you up at night. Are you willing to pay the price to get it? It's not enough to just change your behavior to stop being loved. It's about getting rid of a part of yourself that you were taught was good. You need to destroy the pleaser inside you and quiet the weak voice that thinks, if they like me, they won't hurt me. It means going into the flames of rejection and being brave enough to stand up to people who make fun of you. You can't just give respect away. You have to take it, seize it, and get it from people who don't want it by your presence, actions, and determination. How many times have you said yes when you really wanted to say no? How many times have you kept your anger to yourself so you wouldn't have to deal with it? How many times have people liked you but then forgotten about you? How many times did you think you were making bridges when you were really making cages? And the most important question of all, if the world had to pick between like you and respecting you, which would you prefer take with you to the grave? Don't rush to answer. The simple solution is nearly always a lie you tell yourself. Respect feels scary, but liking feels safe. But life is dangerous. And the people who live through it with their names remembered are the ones who choose danger over safety. This is where the road starts. Not with ease, not with peace. But you have to forsake the things that have shaped you since birth in order to release the dark power of respect. You have to stop being liked. And if you keep going, you'll learn why your need for acceptance has ensnared you and how you may get your life back by cutting it off. Why do you want others to like you? Why does the idea of someone not liking you put a darkness on your chest and a quiet panic that eats away at your sense of self? This is not a simple question. It is the source of the hidden issue that controls how you act. It is not natural to want to be liked. It is made up. It is a way to stay alive that has been turned into a jail. Psychology says that people are made to want to belong. Long before cities, empires, and the walls of civilization, being kicked out of the tribe meant death. Getting approval meant being safe. Disapproval meant peril. That old code is still in your neurological system. When someone frowns at you or stops showing you love, your body thinks of it as being exiled. That's why your heart beats quicker when someone criticizes you, and your throat tightens when someone ignores you. You are not responding to the present, you are responding to the specter of a historical peril, exile. Carl Jung said that things that aren't made conscious control you from the shadows, and the yearning to be liked can be the darkest darkness of all. You think you're being kind, helpful, and polite, but really you're scared. Fear of being left alone. Fear of being alone oneself. Fear of finding out that you don't know who you are without other people's approval. The persona, or the mask you display the world, is not meant to show your true self, but to get people to like you. You grin when you want to yell. You say yes when you want to say no. You make yourself smaller so that other people feel bigger while you're around. But Jung also showed that the shadow can't be eliminated. It can only be added to. And this is where philosophy makes the hurt worse. Nietzsche remarked, "The individual has always had to fight to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe." He knew that being free meant being alone, and that being alone meant being hated. But Nietzsche also knew the higher law. Betraying the individual is what it means to follow the tribe. Nietzsche sees your desire to be liked as a sign of weakness. You're not accepting your actual want to power. Then Machiavelli comes along, cold, practical, and unforgiving. Jung and Nietzsche analyze the mind and spirit, whereas Machiavelli penetrates with a political reality. It is preferable to be feared than loved if one cannot be both. Why? Fear keeps people loyal, but love doesn't last. People will betray those they love if it makes things easier for them, but they don't want to betray those they respect. They might complain, but they do what they're told. They might talk behind your back, but they do what you say. These three voices, when put together, show you the secret roots of your bondage. Your nervous system holds on to being loved as if it were a matter of life and death. Philosophically, your cultural indoctrination sees it as a good thing. But in reality, it is a subtle form of slavery. You are taught to avoid conflict, to look for peace, and to soften your edges so that no one feels hurt by being around you. And how much does it cost? You get boring, forgettable, and easy to replace. Think about the things you do every day. You work too hard to make your coworkers think you're dependable, but they seldom ever give you a raise for it. You hold back your true ideas in friendships so that others don't get mad. But eventually you feel like no one can see you. You put up with disrespect in relationships only to keep the peace. But the peace is empty since it hurts your dignity. These are not trivial things. They are betrayals of who you really are. The roots of this problem go even deeper into the soil of today's society. Your desire to be liked keeps whole industries going. Social media makes affirmation into money, making your brain want the like dopamine. Marketing makes you think that if you don't buy the right clothing, wear the right makeup, or drive the right car, People won't like you, desire you, or think you're worth anything. Every day, you are being taught to think that your worth is based on how much people like you. But here's the problem. The more you want people to like you, the less noticeable you become. Because people can feel it. They can smell when someone is desperate. People who bow too easily aren't trusted, and people who agree too fast aren't liked. To show respect, you have to fight back. It means you can't be available to everyone, agree to every request, or back down when things get tough. And thus the trap gets tighter. You want people to like you because it makes you feel protected. But that desire makes you weak, which means that no one will ever appreciate you. And if you don't have respect, you'll always be at the mercy of what other people want. This is the framework that is concealed under your daily life. A mental prison made stronger by old instincts, cultural indoctrination, and wrong philosophical ideas. A prison that feels safe and friendly yet takes away your power without you knowing it. But you already know this deep within. You feel it when you walk away from a conversation and realize you've given too much of yourself. You sense it when someone talks over you and you laugh it off instead of correcting them. You feel it when you lie down to sleep at night, restless, knowing that others liked you but didn't really see you. The real question is how much longer you can stand it. You can't act like this situation isn't dangerous if you see where it comes from. It is not safe. It will kill your spirit. And if you don't face it, the hidden effects will keep eating away at you until all that's left is a shell that other people decorate with their approval. But what are their effects? What happens when you spend your whole life trying to please others? The answer is darker than you think, and that's where we need to go next. What happens when you want others to like you? At first, nothing big happened. There are no alarms. No one tells you that you're going to die slowly. Everything seems fine on the surface. You smile, others smile back, discussions flow easily, and people comment, "You're so nice, so easy to get along with." But underneath that surface, there is rust. It is not smiles that build respect, it is friction. And without it, you start to break down. The first thing that happens without being observed is loss of identity. You lose being yourself when you bend to please others. You copy how other people feel, take on their likes and dislikes, and keep your own beliefs to yourself. You become a reflection, not a presence over time. You could still be able to do things like work, laugh, and even achieve things. But deep down, you know that you are not living as yourself. You have become a reflection of what others think is okay. And when the disguise comes off, you feel the emptiness when you're by yourself. You ask yourself, who am I really without their approval? And the stillness is too much to take. The second effect is that others can't see you. People notice things that are nice, but they don't remember them. The agreeable person is the background character in life. The buddy who is always there for you, the coworker who is always there for you, and the person who never causes issues. But think about this. Who will be remembered when history is written? The people who caused trouble, the people who stood their ground, and the people who asked for space. People in your group may like you, but the world will forget you if you stay nice. Being liked is even worse since it makes you a target. People are unfairly biased against things that are too easy to get. Research indicates that scarcity enhances value, whereas oversupply reduces it. The same goes for you. The more you want people to like you, the less useful you are. People may grin at you when you're there, but they take advantage of you when you're not. They know you won't fight back. They know you will give in. People who are likable without limits are hated. This is the dilemma that most people don't want to face. If you work too hard to be liked, you will be disrespected. Not publicly, but discreetly, by ignoring what you say, not meeting your needs, and treating you like you're not important. To be respected, you have to stand up for yourself, else you attract abuse. But the effects go considerably deeper, into your mind and even your body. Every time you put your own needs aside to make someone else happy, your brain strengthens a pattern. Confrontation means danger, and compliance means safety. This is how to train a youngster to be obedient, not how to train an adult to be independent. This turns into long-term stress over time. Your nervous system is always on the lookout for indicators of rejection in every space. This takes away energy that could be going toward your ambition, creativity, and will. So what does this mean? Anger. The nice man and wife smile in public, but are angry in private. You swallow your fury, but it never goes away. It goes down. It goes bad. It destroys your sense of self-worth until you hate both yourself and others. If you don't deal with this anger, it will either turn into melancholy or explode as misplaced rage. Conflict, which you tried to avoid, comes back tenfold, but this time it's unpredictable, unplanned, and harmful. This trap is used as a weapon by society itself. You have to stay agreeable for whole systems to work. In the business world, personnel who say yes without complaint are quite valuable. In relationships, one person has to get smaller so the other can take over. Governments like citizens who want to please them instead than demanding respect. The religion of likability is not harmless. It is what makes control easier. And by taking part in it, you help to keep the systems that keep you powerless in place. If you live for approval, you will never know who you are. This is the scariest thing that might happen. You might live well with people who like you around you, yet you'll die knowing that you were never really noticed. How could they see you if you never showed them who you really are? Think about the people you really look up to. Do you enjoy them because other people did, or because they couldn't be denied? Do you like the artist who painted what people wanted to see, or the one who defied the rules and made the world change? Do you like the leader who made everyone happy, or the one who was reviled, cursed, and criticized yet remembered for centuries? You can lose approval in a flash, but respect, once gained, sticks to even the tongues of your foes. They might not like you, but they can't deny you. That's the difference between being liked and being remembered. The effects of trying to get approval that you can't see are not small. They are quite bad. They take away your identity, your presence, your dignity, your respect, and your legacy. And the more you stay in this trap, the harder it is to get out. The agreeable person isn't shackled by what other people think of them. They're chained by their own fear of losing it. So the question gets sharper. How do you get out? How can you break the unseen chains that keep you small, quiet, and happy? The answer isn't kind. It takes rebellion, not against others, but against the part of you that still wants to be liked. Next, we move to that insurrection. To break free, you have to betray the person you were taught to be. That version of you that is soft, accommodating, constantly smiling, always giving in, and always expecting to be liked has to die. Not in a theatrical way, but in the most cruel, real way possible. You have to let it hunger. You can't give it what it wants, and you can't let it crawl back to safety when the heat of disapproval sears against your flesh. This is a big change. This is going against the rules. The first thing you can do to rebel is take back the word no. You have been whispering it for years, so loudly that even you can barely hear it. Or even worse, you replaced it with maybe, I'll think about it, or whatever you want. But no is what makes respect strong. Every strong person in history, from Marcus Aurelius to Winston Churchill, was defined by both what they accepted and what they turned down. People will respect you when you say no and mean it, not when you say yes. This will, of course, make people scared. When you say no to an invitation, a demand, or a part that you don't want to perform, your body will rebel. Your heart will beat faster. Your mind will think the worst. They'll hate me. They will go. Never again will they talk to me. But here's the secret. The people that leave you because you set boundaries never really cared about you in the first place. They liked the mask, but not the person beneath it. And not having them is not a loss. It is cleansing. The second act of rebellion is to engage in strategic combat. Being liked is easy when you don't fight, but respect is built through fighting. If you always smooth over tension, people won't respect you. Machiavelli knew this. He said that the prince should learn not only how to do good, but also how to enter into evil when necessary. This doesn't imply being harsh for the sake of being nasty. It means using conflict as a weapon, not avoiding it. The one who is brave enough to speak up, challenge, and hold firm when others disagree is the one who runs the room. But don't confuse resistance with being careless. You need to learn how to be present in a planned way to break free. It's not worth it to fight every war. When you know which fights to pick and which to ignore, you earn more respect. The person who fights with everyone seems unsure of themselves. The one who carefully picks their fights seems strong. The Stoics knew how to find this equilibrium. Epictetus said that true power comes from managing what is inside you, not from responding to every little thing that bothers you. To stop worrying about what other people think of you, you need to acquire this balance. Only reply when you mean it, and do it with conviction. The final act of rebellion is to stop needing other people's approval. This is harder than it sounds, since you are addicted to getting acceptance. Every grin, compliment, and nod of agreement offers you a little bit of dopamine. And like any junkie, you want it more and more. You need to detox to get free. This means putting yourself in situations where people will criticize you and not backing down. Say what you think. At a place where you know it won't be well received. Write something online that you know will make others disagree. When others roll their eyes, stand up for what you believe. Every time you get turned down, it makes the addiction weaker. Every time you hear quiet instead of applause, you take back your power. The fourth act of rebellion is to develop the armor of not caring. Nietzsche referred to this as the hardness of a hammer, the capacity to strike without being broken in return. You need to train your thoughts not to shake when it is not loved. This isn't numbing. It's transcendence. You don't see it as a threat anymore when other people don't give you their approval. You think of it as noise that doesn't matter to you. The individual who can come into a room without needing to be liked is the person who can't be controlled. But the most radical thing you can do is to accept the expense of respect. To be respected means to be divisive. Some people will like you and some will hate you. You won't belong to everyone anymore because you won't be able to change to fit them. And that's exactly the point. There is no uniform definition of greatness. People loved and despised Caesar equally. The city that Socrates wanted to wake up killed him. Machiavelli was exiled, and his name became a word meaning cunning and cruel. Yet hundreds of years later, his words still haunt you. Respect lasts, but likability fades away. Being nasty doesn't mean breaking free. It is about making yourself undeniable. The person who is no longer dependent on approbation becomes a force of nature. People may not like you, but they can't ignore you. They might talk about you behind your back, but they stop when you walk in. They might curse your name, yet deep down they compare themselves to you. And here is what you need to know. The path to respect is a lonely one. People will leave you. You will lose your comfort. You will no longer feel protected when you are nice. But you get something better out of that loss. Yourself. You become the ruler, entire and indivisible. You stop being a mirror of what other people think of you and become someone who deserves to be seen. A choice starts the uprising. Do you keep being the nice one, getting smiles that go away as soon as you look away? Or do you walk into the fire, feel the pain of being rejected, and come out stronger as someone who can't be ignored? There are already enough people in the world who are liked. It needs people who are respected. And if you dare to fight back, you will learn the grim truth that Machiavelli told those who were willing to listen. It is always better to be respected and feared than to be liked and forgotten. But even rebellion has a deeper meaning, a final truth that most people will never see. Because respect isn't the end, it's the road to something far bigger. Respect is not the end goal, it is the limit. Once you grasp how respect works, how it bends people and gives you presence, you have to face a last, more disturbing truth. Respect alone is not enough. Because respect comes from outside of ourselves. It comes from other people. It exists in how they see you, in their dread, and in how they recognize you. Yes, respect is stronger than being liked, but it still depends on how others see you. If they went away and society fell apart, would you still know who you are? Or would your sense of value go away again, this time not in the weak currency of approval, but in the darker money of recognition? This is the contradiction that is at the heart of Machiavelli's ideas. He advised leaders to choose fear over love and respect above likability. But he also knew what that would cost. If you only care about how others see you, you will always be linked to them, whether you love them or fear them. So the highest power is not only being respected by others, but getting to a point where their respect or their hatred can't change the way you live. This is where Stoicism comes in. It is the quiet opposite of Machiavelli's harsh practicality. Marcus Aurelius said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but we care more about what they think than what we think." So the last stage is to take back your power from both love and respect. To create a state in which you don't need praise, fear, or even acknowledgement. Where your compass is inside you and isn't affected by storms outside. This is the terrible freeing truth. People don't give you respect. It is the unshakable respect you give yourself. Something amazing happens when you view this. The worry of being turned down goes away. The need to be liked fades away. Even the weight of respect, which is still important in politics, strategy, and influence, becomes less important. You don't move to get attention anymore. You move because you have to move. You don't talk to get people to agree with you anymore. You talk because being quiet would hurt you. You don't live to be remembered anymore. You live because living in your truth means burning, and that searing is its own immortality. This is what Nietzsche meant when he said, "Become who you are. Not who they want, not who they like, and not even who they respect, but who you are when no one else is looking at you. To be so true to your will that it doesn't matter if other people bow, despise, or rejoice." Consider the individuals who exemplify this. Socrates, who was sentenced to death, drank the hemlock calmly, not to gain favor or esteem, but because running away would go against his philosophy. Nietzsche was rejected, insulted, and ignored in his own time, but he kept penning truths that were so acute that the world could only understand them years later. Even though Machiavelli was in exile and shamed in his own city, he kept writing The Prince and sharing insights that would last for hundreds of years. Some people liked these men, and some people disliked them. But the most important thing was that they didn't let either of those things get to them. This is the top. Not respect, not likability, but sovereignty. You can't be touched when you stand here. They might try to make you feel bad, but they can't because your worth is no longer borrowed. You might get praise from them, but don't let it go to your head. You know that praise can turn into betrayal very soon. You are free from their chains. You have entered the uncommon air of people who don't want to be liked or even respected. They just want to be free. And here is the scary truth. Most people will never get to this point. They will spend their whole lives asking for bits of acceptance, thinking it is love. Some will rise higher, gaining respect, using fear, and making others do what they want. But only a few will rise above and into the solitude of self-control. The top is chilly and lonely, but it can't be reached. So now that you've walked this path, ask yourself, are you ready to cease being liked? Are you ready to stop living for others' respect? Are you ready to be so complete that the world can just observe, curse, admire, or ignore you, and none of it will bother you? This is not a good thing. This isn't safe. This is not calm. This is power in its most rare and pure form. You are not the one who agrees anymore. You are no longer the one who gives in. You are no longer the one who has to wait for clearance. You are the one who stands up, the person who does something, the one who commands without begging, who exists without apologies, who stays without giving in. And this is the ultimate paradox. You will only have true likability and respect when you no longer care if people like or respect you, and just live by the strength of your own will. People are drawn to individuals who don't want anything from them, not those who do. That is the evil force that Machiavelli talked about. That is the freedom Nietzsche yelled into the dark. That is what Marcus Aurelius protected in the stillness of his journal, his inner sovereignty. Stop being loved. Don't even want to be respected. Get out of reach. Become impossible to deny. Get free. Let the world say your name, whether they love you or hate you, because their words don't define you anymore.